Hi, Chris here. In this video, I'm going to build a high-performance Mini ITX PC in a case by Phanteks called the Evolv Shift. Now this is a tall, small form factor case where the components are very close together, so cooling might become an issue, especially because I plan on doing some overclocking. But some of the components I've chosen will hopefully minimize that risk, but if necessary, I'll modify the case. Let me go over the components. The CPU I'm using is a 6-core i7-8700k. For the boot drive, I'm using this M.2 from Samsung, the 960 EVO, 500 gigabytes. For RAM, I'm using this DDR4 3600 from G.SKILL, and this one has RGB lighting, which will look nice in the case. For additional storage, I'm using the Seagate FireCuda 2 terabytes. Now this is a hybrid drive, so it has 8 gigabytes of SSD that's used for cache. For the motherboard, I'm using the ASUS ROG Strix Z370i Gaming. I like ASUS motherboards. They have great options for overclocking in their BIOS. And this one has RGB lighting just for fun. For the GPU, I'm using this EVGA GeForce GTX 1080 Ti. And this is the Overclocked 2 hybrid card. So it has its own all-in-one liquid cooling loop and 120mm radiator and fan, along with a fan on the card itself. So this should be a good option for the Evolv Shift case. For the CPU cooler, I have these two all-in-one liquid coolers. Why two? Well, this one from EVGA I know will fit in the Evolv Shift case. This Corsair, which is the one I'd rather use, it's going to be a challenge to get it to fit, so I'm not sure if I can actually do it, but it's a better CPU cooler. The radiator is thicker, it's got two fans, hoses are thicker, basically better all the way around. I have several high-performance fans by Noctua, including this thin 15mm one that I'll use as needed. For the power supply, I'll use this Corsair SF600. Now, 600 watts might seem like overkill for these components, but I want to keep the load down to around 50%, because that's how these power supplies are actually rated. So they're most efficient at around 50%. This one in particular, the fan won't even spin up unless it goes beyond 50%. So it's going to be quieter, cooler, and more efficient. After assembling the PC, I was able to overclock the CPU to 4.8 GHz, although there was a small amount of thermal throttling. But during testing, I noticed that if I removed this side panel, the thermal throttling went away. Let me see if I can take it off right now. There we go. You can see that there's just these about half-inch wide slits on the side for airflow, and that just isn't enough to keep the system cool. Now, I was thinking if I made a hole in this panel, this aluminum panel, I think it's aluminum, I'd be able to put a fan grill right here, and that would also have the added benefit of me being able to take this fan from the inside of the case and put it on the outside, right on the panel, next to the grill. And after doing that, I'd have just enough room, 15 millimeters more, to put a larger, more powerful CPU cooler. Hopefully, no more throttling issues. Let's see how it goes.